I'm Nathan Lively from Sound Design Live. I'm here with Omar Colom from AV Educate, among other things. We're going to be talking about his presentation this year at Live Sound Summit. I need to press a few buttons over here in another window to make sure this is all working properly. So Omar, thank you for being here with me today, and why don't you tell us where you are in the world today?
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Nathan. A pleasure to be here, pleasure to talk to you guys. So today I'm in beautiful South Florida. The weather is really nice today. It was clear skies yesterday, so I went to the beach. So if I'm a little red, guys, I'm sorry. So I'm back in South Florida, in Plantation particularly. I'm at my dad's place right now, doing some AV stuff with him with Media Stage. Just kind of keep myself involved in the industry, getting ready for some classes back in Atlanta this weekend. And then we have an online class we're doing next weekend. So a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts all over Florida. Just trying to keep myself busy and interacting and involved with the community as much as I can from a distance, obviously.
So first of all, Omar, what is like one thing you've been doing during quarantine to stay sane?
Besides drinking? No, so I've been doing a lot of the I don't know if they're the mixers at nighttime. I got a lot of friends, Clem's doing it, Scott's doing one. I did a couple of them so far that I've been partnering with people to do. I know there's a lot of them going on, but I tell you, if you guys aren't doing those and you're living by yourself or you don't have a partner or significant other, get on those classes, or not classes, get on those late night mingles. They're awesome. They're just good to talk shop. It's like the best way to describe it is if you remember when you went on break on one of your shows, the bigger shows, and you just talked AV and you just nerded out. It's exactly like that, except you're doing it from your house with people you haven't seen. They're also great networking events because I've met people from all over the world, people from UK that I'm talking to now in different industries. My AV and the AM, the guys over there on LinkedIn, on Twitter, those guys are doing, I think it's like a 60 or 80 plus Zoom call and then breakout rooms. So those are really fun every 2 weeks. And then we just did one yesterday with Scott, myself, and about 18 people. It was supposed to be an hour long, just chit chat mingle, and it ended up being 3 hours because we just kind of got engulfed in the conversation and just talking to each other. So that's kind of what I've been doing on my end to stay sane. Other than that, again, I'm in South Florida. My dad owns a company down here. I've been going into his office, playing with gear, and just keep my skill set up, keep my hands-on up. And my dad's also a carpenter, so I've been building things. I have a little chair I built for my daughter recently. But other than that, it's been pretty good. I can't complain. That's what I've been doing. What about you, Nathan? What have you been up to?
Yes. My safe place is really to dive in and focus more on work. So I have a couple new projects that I've been focusing all my efforts on, and even working some nights and some weekends. And although that may normally be kind of unhealthy for me, since I'm forced to stay at home anyway, it actually feels good. Like there's this urgency around the work. I'm like, I've got to get it done. So I sort of trick myself into thinking that I need to be home anyway, and that's been working well for me.
Awesome. No, yeah, definitely diving into work a lot more. I mean, it doesn't look like doesn't look like I'm posting a lot, but I'm trying to create a lot more content right now, and I'm trying to post to. What I need to do is really figure out a better way to post to everything at once, because that's the time consuming part. Like you make one piece, and then you got to share it to all these different outlets to make sure everybody's getting involved. But eventually, I'll get there.
Okay, so Omar, what I really wanted to talk to you about today is Live Sound Summit. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is you on Live Sound Summit. Here's the Live Sound Summit main page, Live Sound Summit 2020. It's going to be 5 days of practical online training for live sound engineers. You are one of the presenters, and your session is called Stagehand Technician Engineer. What does that mean? What is this title about?
So for me, this is kind of the emphasis of what AV Educate is about. It was always meant to be a stepping stone. I felt that you need the experience and you need the knowledge, but no one's helping you get the knowledge part of it. In our industry, everybody says you need the experience. Like there's no way around it. But how do you get the other half of it? So my goal was always to make that transitioning. Say, hey, if I can help you come from a stagehand to a technician, so you can make more money to go then to evolve. And for me, I'm a video guy, but go to Row or go to Barco or go to any of these companies and get certified through them and make more money so that bill you're going to pay, because they're not cheap, you have the extra cash flow for that. Because it's hard to go from stagehand to engineer without having the cash flow to do it. And I understand that because I've been there. I've been in that process. And I did the full time. I did the freelance. I did the whole thing. So this is kind of where my mindset is with everything as far as AV Educate goes, is helping guys transition from stagehand to technician, and then the technician giving them the resources they need, or the you can say resources they need for them to go to that next level, which I'm not providing, but I also want to be the resource to say, hey, once you feel like you've mastered these basics and these fundamentals, and you've gone to a point to where, hey, I can kill it at a breakout room. I want to go to that lead position now and be in a big GS, a big room like what I'm doing. Hey, go to Evolve, go to Panasonic, go to Barco, get those certifications, get your name out there, because that paper doesn't help you as much as you think it does, but it's a self-confidence thing, because now you know that you know what you're supposed to do. And on top of that, when you meet these new clients and you meet people who don't know you, if you don't have what the rest of us have, or some of us are doing, is, we're branding ourselves essentially. You now have that piece of paper that says, hey, I am an E2 operator. I can do this for you. And that person who doesn't know you now is confident to say, I've done this. But it's not easy to get there. You can get the knowledge through training, through online, and someone might give you that bonus, say, hey, yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. Here's that step you need. And then now you can go to that next step. So for me, stagehand engineer is kind of my whole AV Educate premises of where I'm trying to go and help out the community. And I've been fortunate that a lot of the instructors and mentors I had are willing to post on there and socialize and connect with these guys as well. So that now I'm starting to see more of the coaches and stuff coming on board, like you as well, Nathan. We've connected, we've talked, we've shared resources and contacts with everybody. And it's just another way we're doing that, is we're giving back to the community. And that's, without AV Educate, you and me probably wouldn't be talking, because there'd be no need to. But now, hey, you guys want to learn audio, you guys want to know where to go to, this is the guy I'm recommending, because he's got a whole thing built out, a whole course, he's got books, he's got all these resources. Use them, learn from them, educate yourselves, so that you can go from that stagehand to technician to engineer, and that next step. And it's progressions, and all the top engineers that I know, all the mentors I've had, and I'm sure you're the same way. I do a class at least once a year. Now I'm doing more, but at least once a year I take time out to do a class to better myself in the industry. And all the guys I meet that are on the top, that are making the top dollars, that are doing traveling all over the U.S., they're all they do that. And I will tell you 100%, I not cancel, but I don't take gigs if I know there's a training opportunity. Last year I missed the whole 2-week show to do 3 days of spider training, because it's important. I wanted to learn that next level. I've done the E2, I've done the Ascender, I did the spider one now, and I took time off for that because I'm in a position where I can. And I know some guys aren't. So the whole point of that is, stagehand technician engineers is what everything's about. And I feel like a lot of guys, they get lost in the confusion of how to get to that point. And it's easier than you think, but it is an industry where you need to have the years in. And I'm just providing that other part of, hey, there is these resources out there that I felt 10 years ago wasn't really there, and now there's a lot of it. But it's all sporadic, and it's not together. So AV Educate is essentially that hub for you to say, I follow these guys, you bring your friends, your coaches come here, and they have an audience they can reach to, and I have an audience that can say, hey, if you want to learn these things, here's where I think you should go. Here's possibilities for you to grow your skill set. So now you have the experience and the knowledge, and then you kind of got to go to the next step, or the final step, become the engineer and get a certification on your own.
Awesome.
But that's, pretty much, what the whole concept is of what I'm about, what AV Educate is about, and what the talk's going to be about.
Cool. Well, Omar, I don't know if you've ever seen the tagline on my personal Facebook page, but I often refer to myself as a recovering sound engineer. And what I mean by that is that for a long time, I really hated my job. It was just like the hard locations, the long hours, the uncertainty. And what I realize now is that none of that has changed. The locations are always still hard. The hours are always still long. There's always still a lot of uncertainty. But it's really my attitude that has changed over the years. And I'm excited that you're going to talk about this, because when I was really upset and hated my job, a lot of it was because I felt stuck. And I felt like there's no career path, and this is not a portable career. I was moving from city to city, and every time I moved, I had to start all over again. And I was like, this is terrible. I'm like tearing my eyes out, like, I'm good enough. Give me work. And and I just wasn't patient, and I wanted everything to happen really fast. So I'm glad you're going to talk about this, this idea of career path and what the ladder is in our industry. And I wondered if maybe you could share one point with us or one takeaway that you want us to have from your talk, because I know you're going to share something like 10 points. So could you pull one of those out and share that with us now?
Yeah. So one of the biggest ones I'll go into, which is actually surprising. I've been doing a lot of talks, and they've been coming up repeatedly with people that I see that are successful. Minus the knowledge, minus the experience, and even just jumping on what you're saying here about your experience. The number one thing I've realized in my 12 years of doing this officially is that the biggest thing other than your skill set and your mentality of working in this industry is actually your hospitality, or the way you interact with your clients and the people around you. I find, from and again, this is from being stage engineer to director of a company to being operations at a different company. The number one trait that I find more important to me as I get older and as I do this industry is personality. If I know that guy is okay, I'll put him in a position that I know he can handle. If I know he needs a little bit of help, I'll get him the right team so that he gets the help he needs. But for me, I look more for, is this guy competent what I'm going to have him do? And most importantly, is he going to be good client facing? I don't want a guy who's a super, I don't want the House scenario like that TV show House. I don't want a mad genius, but people hate the guy because, that's not going to help me out. I want a guy who's competent and who's client friendly, not only to the client, but also to the crew, because the most important part to any show is the crew, which is why I have my slogan. But the most important part is the crew you have. Whether they're knowledgeable or not, I can't have you getting upset or screaming or being an asshole to people because they're not at your skill set. They're going to get there. If they're not there yet, that's their choice if they've been doing this, 20, 30 years. But for me, if you're a guy that's hospitable and the client likes to see you, I can take you out with me afterwards with the client to eat and have lunch and drinks and dinner and all that stuff. And the guys like you, I'm more likely to get the guys I want on the shows I want, and I'm more likely to get a good reputation from it. But if I hire, E2 certified, whatever guy, but he's a total asshole, they're not gonna care how good you are to show, how many problems you solve on your own, because you're not a team player and you're not good to hang out with. I don't want to go. Once you get to that point where you're traveling a lot, like you were saying, or moving a lot, there's people you don't want to hang out with. Like, who's on the gig? I'll pass, because you don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be stuck in a hotel for 6-7 days with a guy who just constantly is negative or annoying.
This is why we've never worked together.
Yeah, well, not yet. We will once we get back in season.
All right.
Which I will add. I don't know if I'm sure no one knows this, but me and Nathan met when I was actually in his hometown. And what was it? It was the first ever winter vortex or something like that. Remember that? We didn't get to officially meet because the weather got so bad. They wouldn't I couldn't make it to you, but it was like it was like
yeah, that's crazy.
Winter vortex. Anyways, we met online and just, hey, I do this. Hey, yeah, let's meet up. And it was instant. We've been talking ever since, but yeah, we didn't get to meet up because it was like the day I was going to try to see. It was like historical winter vortex. It was like negative 30 or 40 degrees or something. And I was like, man, I don't know how he lives out here. I remember thinking, I can't live in a city that my face hurts when I walk out the door. Like,
it's that Minneapolis lifestyle. You got to toughen up.
So cold. It's so cold. I'm from Florida and I'm Puerto Rican. Like, if it's negative, no, not even negative. If it's below 60, I'm freezing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But
we're definitely in polar opposite parts of the United States.
Yes.
Awesome. Omar, I'm excited about this talk. So career stuff, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Let's talk about what's really interesting. Tell me about this. The XL Stream Deck. What is that?
So XL Stream Deck. So everybody's a fan of the Stream Decks. Obviously, I own one of these. I should own two, but I own one.
What is this? What can I do with this? It looks so cool.
So if you are in the video world, there's some audio stuff I'm trying to get made right now. But in the video world, this Stream Deck pretty much is not plug and play, but with Companion. So not with the Stream Deck software, but with Companion, this thing becomes almost a plug and play hotkey, X keys, whatever you want to call it, system. So like, let's say you're doing Playback Pro, for example, or MIDI or AV playback. You can plug this boy in, create your presets here, and instead of using the keyboard or the mouse, now you have everything hit here, and it's a button switch. So you're turning any system that is software-based to have an actual hard surface you can hit buttons on. So you can program play, stop, pause, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. You can also use it on the E2s. You can do it on ATEM switchers. You can do it on, I don't know about the Spider. I've never done it, but you can do it on the E2s and the ATEMs. Those are things that I've done them before on. So for the ATEM, for example, you can do a next preview. You can pull up different inputs. You can use it kind of like a matrix. And if you have auxes, you can send it out to different auxes. So input 1 to aux 2. It's very, very versatile. Fortunately, Stream Deck shows you a very nice folder with things. Doesn't come with all those. You can't download the library. For our industry, in AV Educate, we have a file with a bunch of these that guys kind of add to here and there, and then I added. So there's a file for that has a bunch of our kind of industry-specific icons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if you get it or you already have it, there's icons you can use for the Stream Deck that work out very, very well. But that,
awesome.
Yeah, so as long as you do that, the hardest part about this, and I promise you it's so plug and play. The hardest part about the Stream Deck is that when you get it up and running, you have to use a port. So essentially it's very IT based at the beginning, IP ports. Okay. But once you get past that, and we do have a video that Mauricio made for me as well. Mauricio Q made this awesome video showing three different programs, how to set them up, connect them. Literally it's plug and play, plug it in, Companion pops up. You change your IP address to match that, and then Companion has some preset stuff. I can tell you off experience, AV playback. Gregory Mizell is a mad genius. He actually has this as a feature that you plug it in automatically, and it'll populate your Stream Deck with the icons you need.
Cool.
So that becomes easier to use. Yeah. MIDI's kind of going that route right now. Playback Pro. Once you create your file, it's always there, ready to go. You can use it for PowerPoint. You can use So that's actually the Blackmagic little mini right there. But yeah, you can use it for audio as well. I know some guys use it for Ableton, so more on the post-production side.
Sure.
I haven't seen it get used too much on the actual show side other than QLabs. And that video does show QLabs. So
yeah, I was thinking about QLab. I was also thinking about, I think I've heard people setting up all of their smart shortcut keys so they can reach those really quickly. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so essentially what this is if you have a keyboard that, or if whatever program you're using has hotkeys, right? If you use Stream Deck by itself without Companion, you can use the hotkey functionality to program those as your button switches. And you can use it for anything that has a hotkey functionality. This is essentially a keyboard with an OLED screen that you can plug and play and drag. And yeah, that's how easy it is with the software that Stream Deck provides. There's also actionable buttons that Stream Deck has. So you can do like, click is play, on click is stop, double click buttons. You can create your own logos. You can download stuff. It gives you all the information you need. Stream Deck also gives you a library. It's a super, super awesome little box that you can just use for all kinds of things. For me personally, I have a breakout box or a breakout kit that I use. If you ever seen my workbox video, that gets used with that, and that turns my whole kit into literally my whole system between the ATEMs, the two Macs for playback, all gets run off of this one little Stream Deck, and it's just plug and play. It's awesome. It's the best way to describe it.
So you're giving one of these away if I attend your talk. So I sign up for a Live Sound Summit. I register to attend your talk. I come to the talk. I listen to you talk about career paths. And then I can win one of these, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to have some Q&As at the end of the session. You'll respond to me on those. So if we get the answers correctly, we'll get a essentially the first person who does it. So since it's a one-time session, the first person answers those questions correctly and gives it back to me in time, they win the Stream Deck.
Awesome. Let me stop the share. Omar, I'm excited about coming to see you at Live Sound Summit. That's actually, I just closed it, but we are only 19 days out, so a little more than 2 weeks. If you haven't registered yet, check it out, Live Sound Summit 2020.sounddesignlive.com, and I'll put a link below this video. Omar, thanks for being with me here today.
Thanks for having me. I do have one question for you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Am I the only non-audio guy on the entire summit? Because I've seen the whole list, and it's like, wait a minute, these are all audio dudes.
No. Yes. You were very close. You were one of the few. So we also have a therapist.
Nice.
And then Darren is an audio person, Darren De La Soul, but I think she's going to talk about more career-related stuff.
Awesome.
Beyond that, I think it's all audio. It's crushing with audio. So you'll be a relief. It'll be great.
That's cool. I want to give a quick shout out too to Susan Williams. She's a friend of mine. I was super excited to see her on the list. So I'm excited to see her talk as well.
Oh, me too. I haven't seen her before, but I think she's connected with a school in Florida, right? Full
Yeah,
Sail?
so she's one of the instructors at Full Sail. Good friend of mine. We do a lot of stuff actually between her not Full Sail directly, but to the Sound Girls organization through her and Becky Campbell. They just started a podcast as well, which is really cool that I've been following. It's gonna be some cool stuff, man. And I was super happy to see her there. I remember her like almost within minutes hit each other up. Like, oh, you're on this. Like, oh my God, you're on it too. So I'll give a shout out to Susan because she's a friend of mine, and I'm excited to see her talk.
Awesome. Okay, Omar. Well, I'm excited to see you there.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks.